Hi, my name is Dr. Mary Jo Podgurski. I founded the Washington Health System Teen Outreach in 1988, so I'm director of that program. I also am the president of the Academy for Adolescent Health, which was incorporated a few years after the outreach. I was a child of the 50s. So my exposure to sexuality education was a little weak. There was absolutely nothing in school. And I also went to Catholic school when there's no sex in Catholic school, as everybody knows. So no one talked to me on a formal way about sex. I did have very enlightened parents, especially my father. He was a very open-minded gentleman. Actually, both my parents talked with me about growing up. They talked with me about periods. They answered my questions, and I had a lot of questions. I was a very curious child. When I got a little older, they talked with me about boys. There was the assumption that I was heterosexual. This was in the 50s, like I said, so no one spoke about anything more than the norm, whatever that was at the time. I do remember learning on my own a lot, because I read a lot, and picking up things at the library that were adult books that helped me understand that not everybody was heteronormative, and life wasn't, rather, and that helped me figure out things. I met my husband when we were both 15, and neither one of us knew much, and we didn't talk about much together. And high school was a place of little knowledge when it comes to sexuality. So the simple truth is, I think part of why I do what I do is because I want young people to have more information than I had. I really entered sexuality education because of an experience in my life. It was an aha moment, if you will. I didn't set upon being a sex lady as a career path. What happened was I was a young nurse. I worked with death a lot. I worked at Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital in New York. A lot of young people died. And when I moved to Pennsylvania, I decided I wanted to work with something more about life, something happy. Ironically, I wasn't finished working with death. I ended up as a hospice nurse for 6 years. But obstetrics was my chance to have what I thought would be a positive experience in nursing. And I did love OB. I started teaching childbirth classes right away, and I found that young teens didn't fit into a regular childbirth class very well. The people were typically happy. Partners were acting like they were excited even if they weren't. And teens would be there 1 week with a boyfriend, 1 week with a grandmother, 1 week with a friend, 1 week by themselves. So I pulled the young people into a class of their own for teens. I didn't charge them. I figured they had enough trouble. And I fed them every time. So the kids said I was the 3 Fs: food, free, and funny. I became very popular. I was at a funeral home about 6 months ago. One of our former peer educators passed away, and this man was in his mid-30s now. Peer educators are young people who teach with me, so I usually get very close with them and care about them a great deal. So when he died, of course, I was there. And it's very quiet, as it is in funeral homes, where people whisper as if the people that are dead will be upset if they hear you talk in a normal tone of voice. So as I'm standing there, one of the young man's friends, the deceased man, a former peer educator of mine as well, also in his 30s, came in. He saw me, totally forgot why he was there, came running up to me, hadn't seen me since high school, not yelling, normal tone of voice. "Oh, Mary Jo, I'm so happy to see you. You have to meet my wife." So he brings his wife. Again, they're not screaming, but everybody's quiet. And he brings this lovely woman to me and says, "Honey, oh my God, this is the woman I told you about. This is the lady who taught me all about the clitoris." She grabs my hand and pumps it. "Thank you," she says. And I think, oh my. He moves to the back of the line. I'm waiting for someone to say something. In front of me is a much older woman, someone in her 80s, and she turns around and she says, "Mary Jo, you do wonderful work." All right, this is a tough one. Who's my hero in the field of sexuality education? Oh, so many. Obviously Peggy Brick. I think she's the person that I see as the mother of our field. But there are so many others, and I can't name them all. I will say this much. I just worked very hard on A Labor of Love, a book that I call Nani Talks About Gender. And the wonderful professionals and colleagues who helped me with that, oh, you know who you are if you're watching this. You are my heroes. You gave of your time, your wisdom, your expertise. I think what I love most about this field is the giving nature of the people in it. People who teach sexuality education are good folks. They work hard for social justice. So everybody who's doing that, even if I don't know you, you're a hero to me. What does SIECUS mean to me? I need you to understand that SIECUS really means a lot to me. More than an average sexuality educator. First of all, I live in a small conservative community in southwestern PA. Sometimes, when I'm not connected with places like SIECUS, I do feel like I'm fighting this battle alone. Twice in my career as a sexuality educator, I've been attacked. Once in 1996, when my father was dying. It was a very difficult experience. And once in March of 2013. Both times I turned to colleagues for help, and both times I went to SIECUS, and both times SIECUS was there for me. I got support, I got encouragement, I got friendship. I didn't feel like I was alone. Outside of those major events, SIECUS is always there when I need support. I especially enjoy research that I can pick up. When Kurt does his updates, very powerful experience. I think Monica is doing an amazing job at SIECUS, and I'm so grateful SIECUS is there.